So if you're collecting monthly distributions from a YieldMax fund and you haven't looked at your share price in 3 months, stop what you're doing right now and look, because there is a real chance that the distributions you've been celebrating are being funded by your very own principal, not by income the fund is actually earning. And the people who figured this out late are the ones who spent 2 years collecting payments, then opened their account and one day and realized that their $10,000 has quietly turned into $5,800. The yield was real, the income was not, and I'm speaking from personal experience. YieldMax is a fund family that creates covered call ETFs on individual stocks, Tesla, Nvidia, Apple, Amazon, and many others, right? Each fund holds a synthetic long position in one stock and sells call options against it to generate income. That income gets distributed to shareholders every single month. The yield looks extraordinary. Some of these funds have distributed at rates above 30, 40, or even 60% annually. That number is what draws those retail investors in. Here's what happens underneath it though, that most of those retail investors refuse to look at. When a fund sells covered calls on 100% of its portfolio, it collects the premium but gives up all of its upside. If the underlying stock goes up, the fund doesn't participate above the strike, okay? Over time, in a market where stocks trend upward, that means that the fund's share price stays flat or drifts lower because appreciation is being capped away, while distributions keep going out of the door. Here's the critical part. When distributions exceed what the fund is actually earning from options premium, the difference comes out of the fund's asset base. The share price goes down to pay for it. That's called NAV erosion, and in many YieldMax funds, it's not an edge case. It's been happening consistently since the launch. Here's the framework I use to evaluate any high yield fund. Total return, not yield. Total return means price change plus distributions combined. It's the only number that tells you whether you're actually ahead or behind after holding the fund for a year. A fund that pays 40% in annual distributions and loses 35% of its share price has a total return of roughly 5%. That's it. All that activity, all those monthly payments, you're barely ahead of a savings account. The reason people miss this is very simple. Distributions feel like real income. You see the money land in your account. You feel like the strategy is working. The share price declines is a separate line item, and it's easy to mentally separate the two events even when they're directly connected together. The psychological trick is that distributions are concrete and immediate. Share price decline is abstract and gradual. Your brain weighs the concrete thing more heavily. That's not a flaw in your character. It's literally how human attention actually works, but the math doesn't care how it feels, okay? So we got to talk about the synthetic strategy problem, okay? Because most YieldMax funds don't actually own the underlying stock, right? They use a synthetic long position, basically a combination of options contracts that mimics owning the stock without actually holding the shares themselves. This structure creates a problem. When the underlying stock pays a dividend, YieldMax funds don't collect it because they're not actual shareholders of record. They're holding options contracts, right? That means the income they have to generate for distributions comes entirely from selling those call options. In high IV environments, for example, when Tesla or Nvidia is moving sharply, those call options generate very rich premiums and the distributions are well covered, right? In quiet environments, though, the premium, it thins out. If the fund maintains its distribution target despite lower premium environments, right, it makes up the difference by returning your own capital. Your own money gets paid back to you and gets labeled as income. Now we got to talk about the 100% overwrite problem. The second structural issue is coverage ratio. YieldMax funds sell call options on essentially their entire position, 100% coverage. That's how they generate this insane high yield number. But 100% coverage means zero upside participation. Every time the underlying stock rallies past the strike price, the fund's position is literally capped there, right? The shareholders of the stock capture those gains. The fund doesn't at all. Compare that to, for example, QQQI or SPYI, which covers 60 to 80% of their portfolio. They generate less headline yield, but preserve some of that upside at least. When the market rallies, those funds participate a little bit. Their NAV doesn't erode the same way because appreciation is filling back in what distributions are actually taking out. Full coverage breaks that balance entirely. Let's talk about what the long-term chart actually shows. TSLY, YieldMax Tesla Fund, launched in late 2022. Over its first 2 years, Tesla's stock had significant price movement in both directions, but ended up meaningfully higher where it started over the full period. TSLY, despite distributing heavily throughout, saw its share price decline substantially from its launch price. The shareholders of Tesla who simply held the stock captured the full price movement. TSLY shareholders collected monthly checks while watching the fund itself lose a large portion of its value. The distributions, they were not free. They came from the capital that was supposed to be generating them indefinitely, okay? Once that capital base is smaller, future distributions are smaller too. Not because the strategy changed, right? But because there's literally less money to generate income from. It compounds in literally the wrong direction. But who gets hurt the most? Retirees and near retirees who are using these as distributions, as living expenses. They face a specific version of this problem. They're not reinvesting the distributions, right? They're literally trying to spend them. That means the NAV erosion is complete pure loss. There's no compounding effect working in their favor. The fund shrinks, the distributions it can sustain shrink, and the timeline to running out of principal gets shorter and shorter and shorter every single quarter. This isn't the experience that got advertised when these products were actually launched, okay? High yield is not the same as sustainable income. A fund that pays 40% annually by gradually liquidating your own principal is not an income investment. It's literally a slow liquidation with a pleasant monthly notification, okay? The way to evaluate any income fund is total return over a meaningful period, usually 12 months minimum, 2 to 3 years if the data even exists. If total return, including all distributions reinvested, is trending negative over that window, the fund is consuming itself. The distributions are not income. They're a partial return of your own money back to you. YieldMax funds have a role in very specific situations. Short-term tactical positions with satellite allocations where the investor fully understands what they're holding, or environments where a single stock's IV is genuinely exceptional. But as a core retirement income holding, the structure is completely wrong. The capital erosion is not accidental or temporary. It's literally baked in. I don't hold YieldMax funds anymore. I haven't since I understood how the full coverage of synthetic structure, how it actually behaves over full market cycles. When I want a single stock options exposure, I run the wheel strategy myself. I sell cash secured puts on individual names. I manage the covered call phase directly myself, and I control the coverage ratio. That work requires some attention a few hours a week, but it means I own decisions, right? There's no fund manager selling 100% coverage on a stock that I care about and capping every gain above an arbitrary strike. For income ETFs that use options overlays, I stay in the partial coverage, right? Index option space, JEPI, JEPQ, QQQI, SPYI. These funds generate lower yields, but they sustain their NAV over time. And that durability really matters more than the headline number when you're building something that has to hold up for 20 plus years. I got some questions for you guys in the comments. Want to hear your thoughts. Are you holding any YieldMax funds right now? And have you run the total return number, including share price change, not just the distributions? Let me know. And number two, if you've been in these funds for a while, what's your actual experience look like compared to what you've actually expected when you bought in? And if you want to take your education a step further, attend the Ark Options Strategy Workshop. I'll leave a link for it down below in the description of today's video. At the end of that training, I also give you 3 incredible free gifts. I give you my 10 favorite stocks, all under $30, that I love running this strategy on, as well as my 2 income calculators, as well as my trade log template. So click that first link in the description of today's video, guys. Remember, sell options, collect premiums, repeat. I'll see y'all tomorrow.